first part is what is actually a full performance capture of what we actually shot in the studio in Montreal.
Way to the bar, Gerward. Maybe he remembers where his rat is hiding. Before my aim markedly improves. I flashed him up. I'll catch you up, Thatch.
And this is kind of where the animation takes over, the gameplay takes over. The great thing I love about Edward is he's charismatic. As you can see here, he has a way with the ladies. He's charismatic, he's brave, he's brash, he's fierce, but he's also very loyal. I mean, it takes a long time for people to get to know him and for him to trust people, but once they do, he's extremely loyal.
I'll come back to your coin later.
He's also not afraid to speak his mind and say what he feels to anyone around him. Edward's someone who kind of follows his gut instinct and sort of acts on impulse, but he also has a fine intelligence when he actually takes a moment to ponder and not be too hasty.
You out here? Jenkins, what's the news?
Damn near a riot out there, but I reckon Kenway suspects something. He don't miss much.
What was that?
You're certain you didn't bring some little sandwiches and talk, Jenkins?
Look sharp. Stevens, make certain there's no surprise. I said,
he's also extremely self-driven, and throughout the game, that often brings problems to him in terms of the relationships around him.
Stay here.
He's pretty nifty with the sword as well.
Yes, sir.
His hidden blades.
It's time. Tell me about the beat.
They're gathering, sir.
Edward comes from a place in Wales, and he's someone who from a very young age wanted to seek fame and glory and leave his hometown and seek pastures new. So this is something that really drives Edward. He comes from a poor background, and he's someone who really wants to climb the ladder and achieve glory for himself and status within the hierarchy. He appreciates real people and doesn't suffer fools like these. First and foremost a pirate, but he has all these skills of an assassin. So to me, he's like the coolest pirate ever. And throughout the game, he comes across several different characters that become his mentor. Like Blackbeard, as you see here, is one of his mentors, and he develops different relationships with these different people. And Blackbeard is one of the people who he becomes closest to throughout the game. I mean, in this time period, people were quite carefree. They had to be carefree, and that often gets Edward into trouble. You know, he's kind of driven by his own self-need for glory, and that kind of gets him in trouble with a lot of people, especially the authorities at the time, the British and the Spanish. I wish I could do that in real life. There's also something different about this assassin, about Edward, is his fighting style is a little bit more rough and ready to some of the other assassins, which I really like. It's more gritty and real than it.
It's not the first time Ken